Hey, whoa! Just fucking talk. Just say whatever you want for the next 30 seconds, and I'll do the same thing.
That'll work.
Hey guys, welcome. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Event Atmosphere Podcast. It is I, Jeff, your co-host, along with
Giancarlo here again.
We're back at it. So, this time we're going to talk about a couple different things. A very spicy topic of street takeovers.
Yes.
Which I'm excited for. But as you guys know, before that, we're going to go through what we've been up to, as well as a little bit of news. Yeah. So, I'm going to let you hit this one off again and kind of tell me what you've been doing, dude. In that garage of yours. I feel like it's a black veil over the door.
No one in, no one out. I've been working on my GTR a little bit. I have a 90 GTR, which is my second one. I've actually sold the first one that I had for 10 years, which you just learn a lot when your first GTR. You learn pretty much everything about them. But anyway, I've been chasing a problem with that thing for forever.
I remember that,
and I was over it, dude. But
I remember that part too.
I finally found what it was. It was.
What was it?
It was actually the blow-off valves. Now the car's fairly stock, so stockish. Upgraded turbos and some other injectors and shit, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
So when the car's running, the blow-off valves actually emit a little air, I guess.
They're hanging open a little bit.
Yeah, they pressure to the intake manifold, and if you don't keep them recirced, what happens is it is asking for that air and just doesn't run.
It ain't there.
It runs real fat. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
But we got it. Put some new wheels on it. Made it look nice.
You used to a higher spring rate for the blow valve?
No. I put it because I put it back recirced.
Oh, sweet.
Because I took it off. I was like, this is gonna be cool. It'll sound cool. No. Another fun note was we went to that Mecum in PA.
Yeah.
And on the way back, I met up with the new owner of my white one.
No way. Did he have the car there? Or?
No, he didn't. He's pretty jacked. He had a stroke, so he can't shift.
Oh, shit.
He's kind of bummed. So it's for sale at the same price. Nothing's been done to it. But I met up with him, and he gave me back the front spoiler.
Really?
Which I'm pumped on because that thing was stupid rare. And it was mint.
Do you know who makes it, or was it just a...
I think it was... it's my list. It was a grand...
My list.
A list.
Of the car that you... Do you have a list of all the cars?
Oh, shit, dude. I'll show you. It's
wow. Okay, that'll be an episode in itself. Wow.
I guess we'll see that later. It's pretty intense, dude. But anyway, I was pumped to get that back and I'll probably keep it. If I sell the car, I'll probably just hold on to it because now it's at
a tradition.
Special level now. You know what I mean? He was loading it and he tripped and he stepped on the fucking thing. So it's a little cracked, but I don't give a shit because it's part of it. You know what I mean?
Is it carbon fiber or just?
Yeah, it's carbon fiber. I thought it was AF plug or something like that. I totally forgot what the hell it was, but
you could probably fix it.
Yeah, it's little resin's cracked, but I don't give a shit. It's a story. I don't care. It's my old one, so I'm pumped on it. But anyway, that car's ready to get on the road, and I'm excited to put it on the road for a month and then put it away.
That's right. If you guys aren't familiar, we are in upstate New York where
that's right.
Winters are long and the food is really good, at least. Are you a foodie?
No, not really. I try to keep it safe. If I haven't been anywhere, chicken fingers.
Yeah?
If you play it safe. You know
with ketchup?
Yeah, what? I think it's ketchup with chicken fingers.
Gotcha.
That way, what?
Cheeky nugs?
Yeah. How about you, dude? What have you been doing?
Oh, man. Working a lot, to be honest, yeah.
Such is life.
Yeah, it's cool projects. I think for myself, it's mostly getting a plan together for the 2J swap we talked about last time. That
right.
A lot of my close friends. Why was that so hard to find, the word? I've known about the people that associate with me.
Tolerate you.
Yeah, but I think for me, it's we're trying to. It's been a 3-year process. A lot of that was just figuring out what parts to use and gathering them through COVID, which was we ended up changing the pistons we used because the ones we wanted were on a indefinite back order.
Just the brand or the specs?
Yeah, the brand.
Same specs you wanted.
Yeah, we use Diamond Racing, which Real Street, they know a lot about those motors, and they were yeah, these are the ones that you wanted. I forget which brand they were or which model. I think it was Manly. I know they do rods. They do pistons too.
Oh, I'm not sure.
CP.
CP does.
I know CP does.
But hey, what's your horsepower goal?
So
they should know what to.
Yeah.
Oh, this is sufficient for 7 to 1,000. This is sufficient for 1,000 plus.
Yeah,
You know what
I
mean? Like,
want to drive with 850, but I want it on the dyno to make like $1,000.
Okay.
So I want to like
think
overbuild
that's
a little bit.
Yeah, but I think that's also like fairly easy for that.
I think so too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is why I want to detune a little bit. I just want to say that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the pistons you're buying.
Yeah.
I think you should be fine, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
What else did you have issues ordering? I guess if there were like any parts or any.
I think the big thing was just like the order in which to order. So
Okay.
like for
I see what you're saying.
we had the rotating assembly for the bottom end built, and then once we got that, then we mounted the trans up, but the rear diff was getting built at the time. No, sorry. We mocked the engine and trans up first before we had the motor built, just to make sure we didn't have to like clearance anything else or like we needed any other parts. And then we tore it apart, got the motor to the machine shop, and then got the rear diff in. But we were waiting on the motor and trans so we can measure for the drive shaft.
Okay.
So then once we got the motor back,
You're bouncing.
dude, it was just like a lot of back and forth. And then I think we were waiting on the rear diff, like the subframe that we bought from TSS, which is a great company, great product. It just didn't quite fit the way, it's like
That's with anything though, dude.
you're taking like a very custom thing and trying to make it like as streamlined as possible. So there's still going to be some variables, but they were very supportive. They sent us like new mounts, like chassis mounts for the bracing.
Went in though, fairly easy. It's done.
It's there. Yeah, it's done. It's done. So, but either way, like that was like a process in order to get that set, and in order for us to measure the rear axles.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of back and forth, which it just took a long time.
That's what it takes, man.
Yeah, and I think for me, like I definitely wanted to, not just for you viewers at home, but even for myself, just like document like a build. I feel like most of the cars I've ever done, I typically did like fairly quickly, and I didn't really like. I'm horrible with taking pictures. Like my wife's phone is like chock full. If I ever need a picture, like us on vacation or like a kid's, something or another, like I always just ask her because I just never think about it. I'm always like in the moment and enjoying it, which I like, but I also wish I kind of had a balance. But for all the car stuff, like
did you ever try to like document fully as far as like film shit and try to like I don't know, be a YouTube chachi?
So that's kind of what
even
we
just
want
for
to do.
yourself. I'm saying not for like
No,
because dude, it takes a ton. It takes twice as much time to build.
Yeah, I think the hard part for me is like I want to be there in the moment, and I feel like if I was trying to do that, I wouldn't be.
So you're 50-50.
So it's like how do you? Yeah, like how do you do that? But with it, we're gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to learn on this one. So
I do a little bit with the Celica,
Yeah.
and I lose motivation to build because I know I have to do that extra step, and I'm just like, oh, I just don't feel like adjusting, moving, all this bullshit. You know what I mean? So
that makes sense.
before you were on the forums, you take a fucking picture, post it, and you're done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's way, like a build thread, remember that shit?
Yep. Yeah. And then the broken link or Shutterfly would
what's a photo booth bucket or some shit?
Yeah, photo bucket. Yeah, you got it. But with this one, I want to document the whole thing and make like a series out of it. And I'm kind of glad that we didn't start it yet because, like, if I was somebody that like was watching it and enjoying it, I mean, it's been 3 years, so like it would just be so like, just old at this point.
No, I don't think so. I think it'd be good. Like I watch YouTube videos that are like builds that fucking drag on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think fine.
I think for me it'll help to have like we're on the home stretch, so it's like, all right, like here's where we started, here's what we've done so far, and break that into like showing. There's a lot still that's like
you're moving along a little bit.
Yeah. I think for me, like my motivation will help. So that's been like it's just getting like a plan together for that of like almost like a storyboard or whatever of like what that's gonna look like. It's a cool one. Yeah. I don't even know what yours is. It's like a fastback 70. Yeah, it's pretty sick. But I think that's really been like on my mind lately as like trying to get that together because I want to drive the car. I want to have it finished, and at this point, the big thing it needs is the wiring for the Motec. I think we talked about this last time real quick, but I want to try to do that. So the sooner that I can come up with a storyboard, the sooner I can work on the car and the sooner I can drive it. So it's like
I think that shit is like good to go back on. I've done so many builds that I've like have no pictures even of. I was slinging GCs back in the day, two doors and flipping them, And it would be cool to like go look back. And
Yeah.
Like, oh, I did this or that. I remember that. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think social media helps because like, even posting stuff to that, like you can go back and see like your car or whatever.
Right.
With horrible filters. All the pictures I took of my old cars have like horrible filters on them. Looking back, I was like, well, fucking.
I'd go that far back.
Yeah. Horrible. Cool, but yeah, I mean that's kind of the next steps. Trying to get that moved along.
You're losing sleep, man. You gotta get on it. You gotta get on the thing.
Kids will make me lose sleep, dude. Keep me up. Cool. Yeah, let's talk about some news. So I got the Cobb Next Gen Flex Fuel. So this is their. I don't know. You probably weren't keyed in on this, but a few months ago, maybe like a year ago, maybe more. I don't even know. I'm flying. But
this is your wheelhouse.
It's true. Sure. Cobb had a flex fuel kit for most years for Subarus, obviously. It's like their bread and butter. So that was cool. I was tuned on the flex fuel. You could just fill the tank up to whatever you want. Your access port would read the ethanol content in the fuel.
Right.
Which if you're like I first started using flex fuel probably close to a decade ago. Pretty close, actually. Dan at Mach 5 Motorsports in Sterling, Virginia, tuned the car. He had Sander come in, who actually was one of the guys that helped tune, or I think he tuned was it BBM, the Huna Pegasus, the pink hill climb car. Yeah. So that was cool to hear that 10 years later that he's doing that stuff. So the car made like 380 on pump on 93, and then I really wanted to go ethanol, which is like full E85 tune. So he had Sander consult with him just because it's for Subarus. Like there might have been like a handful of people on Naziok that had been tuned on ethanol. So did bigger injectors, bigger pump, and the car made like 480.
Dude, that's wild.
Like easy. Yeah. Like same, like I think we turned the boost up just like a little bit, but that was just like, for me, that like just blew me away. It was just like, it's better for like, less detonation. A lot of people, like if you, just like with methanol, right? Like you run like a drag car with methanol, you take the engine apart, it's like brand new. It's like shining. Yeah, with ethanol, you get like a little, not as drastic, but yeah. So I always liked, the benefits are just insane. That car blew up, bent a rod, but that was because it was like just dropping pistons, factory rods, and a lot of boost. So it lasted a year though.
That's pretty
good.
Of that. That's solid.
Yeah.
So you're driving the thing.
Yeah. So I think the big issue with that though is like they used to have like a ethanol. They probably have them, but an ethanol shaker. So what you would do is actually like it was like a beaker, a graduated cylinder, something like that. Yeah. So you'd fill up a certain amount with ethanol at the pump, and then you fill the rest up with water. You'd shake it, and then wherever the
ethanol test it.
Yep. So you would, if you got tuned on say like E85, like dead nuts, if there was like a lower or a higher content rating, you would have to or find another pump, right?
Yeah.
So I lived in DC at the time. Travel times were a bit elongated, so I used to just get like 15 gallons at a time, like in containers, and then fill the tank up.
Yeah, I don't go to the gas station at all with that guys.
Yeah,
I have like gas tanks all ready to set.
Shit, dude.
I remember back in the day that with the old RX-7s and shit and all that stuff, you'd have to like mix your shit at the pump, and that's really pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like a chemist just to fill your tank up.
That's what it's like. That's like a lot of people are running like the ethanol mixtures now, like E30.
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
Oh, dude.
Like, there's no ethanol gauge for that, but that's where Cobb's coming in with this new next gen flex fuel. So they pulled the old one. I guess the EPA was kind of coming in on them.
Yeah.
So
as
before
everybody, right?
Yeah, for sure. So before they got a big old fine slapped on them, they just pulled the plug themselves. Worked with the EPA to come up with something that worked for both of them, and this is it. So it's only available for 15 to 21 WRX and STIs. So both motors, FA20 and FA25, no, EJ25, which is weird to me. WRX STI. Oh no, it's just the STI. I'm sorry, I'm misspeaking now. It's just the EJ257 for the 15 to 21. So I'm sure that
for now, but
there'll be more to come. New. Yes. This has been out for a little bit. I saw that they posted recently that it's back in stock. So I'm assuming that they were sold out for quite some time, which is why it's relevant news. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, Flex Fuel's great. I love it. I love mine. It was very convenient. If I was out of town and they didn't have ethanol, I didn't have to like do a shaker test or whatever to leave the ethanol content. But it's cool. If you haven't used ethanol before for tuning,
do it.
what the fuck are you doing? If you don't like ethanol, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on that. So shoot us. We're coming up with an email address. It'll be right here. It's posted in. But you could always comment below as well if you are watching on YouTube. If you're listening in, figure it out. And yeah, but this is cool to me. I like it. Anything else on ethanol?
Easy? No.
You like the corn juice?
No. I'm pumped right now, and I'm into it. Just leave that.
Everything.
It's just easier, dude. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, that's your answer for a lot of stuff. Depends. Yeah,
It does, though.
that makes sense.
And it does.
Next up, we have more sports cars going hybrid?
Oh, yeah.
Question mark. So this we talked briefly about last time with the new STI. I'm sorry, we didn't talk about this. I talked about this on the Circuit Demon little reel Instagram video. But yeah, a lot of manufacturers are going hybrid. We saw that with I think Lamborghini and maybe Ferrari had some over the last like few years that came out where they're doing hybrids. Subaru is talking about the STI, the next generation STI, either being EV or hybrid. And this little Motor Trend story here is talking about the new GR86, which will also be obviously the BRZ if they continue that partnership. So I'll be honest, this is a little bit of a clickbait because when you go to at the bottom, it's like Toyota's really stoked on hybrid. So are they going to do this hybrid too? There's nothing to confirm or like there's nothing to say that they're going to with this car. But I think overall it's something interesting to look at when a lot of cars are. And I actually, a super reputable source, Facebook, one of the GR Corolla groups today, they also said that they heard rumblings of the 2025 GR Corolla being hybrid. So I take that with zero credibility, but just the fact that people are
what's the crazy?
What
is the? I'm not into the hybrid stuff. I don't even know too much.
Yeah, me either.
You know what I mean? But
so I guess
why they would need to offer that opposed to just leave it alone.
Yeah,
or just go full.
What I've heard is with auto manufacturers when they go to it's something with their emissions ratings. They take all the vehicles in the lineup and they get like an average. So if you have a few cars that are like really like plunging the average miles per gallon down, they will try to do something in order to get that higher. It's either some sort of tax credit or rating or something like that. So I know with there's certain companies with like Ford, for instance, they got rid of a lot of their like cars, especially like the tuner cars, Focus ST, Focus RS. Yeah, RS was always limited, but even with the Mustang, you can either get a 4-cylinder turbo or V8. Obviously, they're never going to take the V8 away, but the V6 is gone.
The V6 is gone?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
4-cylinder turbo or V8, and I believe that the 4-cylinder only comes 2.3? Automatic. It is a 2.3.
That's back to their roots, man.
Yeah.
1984.
Yeah, it's the same engine they use for the RS and the Bronco too.
SVO. Oh, is it?
Yeah, Bronco motor.
Interesting.
Different. I'm sure there's some differences, maybe different heads or.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Rotating assembly in that, but yeah,
I think that's good. I kind of support that.
In
the Ford world.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's definitely starting to be a bit of a wave of the future. Is this stuff? So I don't know where I stand on it. I mean, I think as long as I watched a video on lunch break the other day with it was a Formula One car versus a Rivian Navara, if I pronounced that correctly, and versus that weird Batmobile looking fan car. There was at Goodwood Festival of Speed, which is the second time this has been brought up, and you still have not seen it. No. Give it the picture. It has a fan, one or two fans on the bottom, and it's like a what do they call it?
Can you pull this thing?
Downforce car. Yeah, I can pull it up for you.
Let's see what's going on here.
But it sucks it to the road, so
Like,
for
so
better
more
downforce. But there's a big ass fan on the back of this car. Let's see, good.
Is this a production car? No.
No.
Isn't it called the
McMurtle, the turtle.
Let's see here. We got
McMurdy. You're right, dude. Right behind the camera, busting it down. All right. So for anyone listening in, we were watching the McMurdy fan car. This thing, it literally looks like a.
what in the actual?
It looks like a silver Batmobile.
It's wild.
It's got like gills on the side behind the front wheels.
It's
and
tiny.
It looks like it's tiny. It looks like it's about to blow the engine because the plume of dirt and smoke, or it looks like smoke or oil coming out of the back exhaust. But it's an electric car, and what that actually is, that stuff there is just the fan pushing all the dirt from the track behind it.
That's insane.
Yeah, we are. It sounds.
That's the
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a crazy car. But yeah, I think a lot of there's a lot of promise. I think you lose a little bit of the I don't know, heritage of cars in the first place with the motor.
I was trying to think of the word.
I'm trying to think of a political way to say it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm one.
I feel that entering in it's like a soft opening to EV car, and I feel that like you're stepping one step further away from like that driver car relation.
Yeah.
That like, what am I trying to say here?
Spit it out, John.
I'm waiting for you to interrupt me.
Never will. But yeah, I think the big thing too we talked about last time, not hating on automatic CVTs, just me personally.
That's for me to do.
That's for your job. But I think like, can they even make a standard transmission EV? Is that like possible? Because
Yeah.
I just don't know. I do not know.
Maybe. I don't know. I think how depends.
I don't think they
on
have gears,
on what
right?
you're
They don't
doing.
have gears at all.
I
Do
don't
they
know.
even have transmissions? I don't think.
What's that thing Koenigsegg did where it's like manual and then it goes auto?
I don't know.
Have you seen this?
Is it electric?
Dude, their shit's weird.
Yeah.
Like torque vectoring, fucking.
Well, it's like the what is that? The E46. I could be super wrong with this. You might know better. The transmissions in the whatever they call their automatic.
SMG.
There you go. And the manual, aren't they the same? It's just the thing that bolts on the top.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like convert it. It's probably the same thing where it can do both.
That
for the
is a whole
Koenigsegg.
other ballpark. No clue on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me neither.
But I mean, they seem to be doing pretty good.
It's true. It's
I
true.
mean, as it
Yeah,
is, so.
I'm curious. I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm curious.
No, a couple of years we'll see, and I bet you that'll come out.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of
Quite a
people
bit more.
say that it's going to kill like gas powered cars. I just don't think that's ever going to happen.
No.
Like I think in 50 years you're going to be able to drive your 70s muscle car down the road without a problem.
Right.
Not a problem. All right, cool. Last part of news, and this is going to take us right into our main topic for the day. If you're doing donuts, we intend to arrest you. Greg Abbott, I was going to say mayor, the mayor of Texas.
Just call it that. Roll with it.
Yep, he's the mayor of Texas, signs 2 new laws cracking down on Texas street takeovers. Yep, I messed that up. So both these laws, one is just giving more flexibility for being able to go after people who participate in street takeovers, and the other one is giving them the ability to impound cars easier. So I guess with that, if you're at one, you probably don't have to participate in the
Event.
the slideys. I think just being there, they can impound your car.
Interesting.
Or-
Does California have like a similar?
I think California has a
Yeah.
seizure law, so they can actually take your car and crush it or auction it or something.
Auction. Call me up.
But I see a lot of these people driving like younger children driving like brand new Mustangs or Camaros that I'm sure
Leased.
like normal, you're leased or like financed, which is normal. And imagine like getting that seized and having a big old fat loan and not having any car to show for it.
So I think this can be a long thing to talk about here.
That's good because it's a whole episode worth.
How's your stance on this? Because I'm like fully against what they're doing to the car culture and the car community. Nothing good is coming of this, and I just don't get why that it's still a thing. Like it's just not getting any smaller.
Yeah, no. I mean, I talked to
It's like going away.
Yeah, Chris from Crispy Media, and we had a discussion a few months ago. I was just like, hey, like what are the trends that you're seeing out there in car culture? Because I feel like a few years ago it was like bags, right? Like everyone had to have bags,
Stretch tires,
lip to fender fitment, stretch tires, and then like the next like year it was like flares. Like everyone has flares,
square.
meaty fitment, big tires, and then since then it's kind of like things are a little bit of like a mix, right? Like the same people that were doing like the stance scene with bags either are still doing that or they're into like overlanding all of a sudden.
They're definitely like separated more.
Yeah. And then like the meaty fender boys like myself are still eating that meat. And it's just like it seems to be just like a big blend. But the big thing he said is like takeovers are big.
Yeah.
Like takeovers are.
But there's so many people that they can't control shit.
Yeah.
And they just wait till it's over.
Yep.
But dude, I have seen this most stupidest shit online for them.
I mean, yeah.
People fighting.
If there's one reason, everyone hates the cost of healthcare, right? Health insurance, all that stuff. But man, they are making a killing on these street takeovers because the hips and the legs and the
dude. I have seen, like I said, I just can't believe it. Every time that one pops up on my like Instagram or some shit, they're just slamming into each other, getting pinched between a pole and you know what I mean? And they're just like, whatever. Let's carry him to the wherever, my grandma's house, and put some tape on it. What the fuck?
Some people have been who died, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen any articles of that.
There was this one dude, I was just telling you earlier. Like he got in a fight with a guy. The guy got in the car and was ripping donuts, and he ripped out of there. And as he did, the dude was like shooting at him, I don't know, 8-10 rounds. And he had his Glock with a 30 mag. Like,
there's people there, right? A lot of people.
There's a lot of people, and he was just rifling off. And someone walked in front of him. He stopped, and then he continued after I was like, "What is going on? Like, this is a car meet? What is this?"
I don't know.
So, Chicago is huge too. My cousin's over there in Chicago, and he says that's the same thing. They're crazy, dude.
I went downtown Saturday night to meet up with my buddy Josh.
Here?
Yeah. Right here.
And
everywhere.
What were you doing?
Everywhere in America.
Trying to set it up? Or?
No, it was great. We had a great time. But I was parking and I noticed there was like all these cars around. And I was like, I wonder if there's like a car meet or something. There was like a WRX like parked on the sidewalk as I'm like driving by. I was like,
here we go. Now it's here.
And then all of a sudden I just hear like VQs and like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, Chargers. Yeah. It was like right at Parcel 5, Liberty Pole, that area where like cops are always like, I grew up going skateboarding there and like there's always cops there. Like all summer they have like a,
there's cops
constantly. Like a pop-up station there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I didn't see anyone like doing burnouts in an intersection or anything like that, but I did, like, I heard a lot of engine and I thought tires.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know.
I'm kind of disappointed. You ain't torn with it. It's ridiculous.
I think it sucks, but I think
now your grandpa can't go to fucking, to Charlie's to get a burger with his buddies.
Well,
because he's in a takeover. You know what I mean? It's like
he might be the one doing the donuts, dude. He might get confused where he's at.
I think they're just like killing it for the next people, and that's now what car culture is.
I think the tough part is the after effect of not after effect, the knock-on effect of like other stuff, right? So like us, like me coming up in the Fast and Furious metaverse. It was like the car shows that I went to, everyone's like scared of cops, right? Like, I don't want to take it for my tint, my exhaust.
Yeah.
If the cops are coming, like I'm getting out of here.
Now it's all about egging them on and teasing them. And I saw
Yeah.
that first.
Shooting like Roman candles at them.
I saw that first with the bikes. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They all have their GoPros and just egg the cops on. They can't touch them. You know what I mean? And then now this. But this is a little different because they're planted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. We're staying in the intersection. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I think the bigger thing though is like me not having a cool car or a car at all at the time of going to those meets. Yeah, I didn't have a car back then. Now that I think about it, I remember like a specific meet that I went to at the old Buffalo Wild Wings and Jefferson.
Yeah,
those were cool meets Sunday nights.
Yeah.
But I remember, like being around that was like cool because everyone. It was like, I mean, we're talking like Too Fast, Too Furious. So like crazy trunk setups, like everything was fiberglass. Everything was fiberglass.
Frenched in.
Fiberglass, like it smelled. You could smell the fiberglass in the air. But like big stereos, like everything, neon, underglow. But being around that was like okay, like it was underground, and like not in like the sense of like you like throwing that word around, but like you didn't want to be noticed besides that crew, right? Like that scene. Right. Like everyone else was just like, who cares? We don't want them. Like we want the people that are into this at the meet. Everyone like people build cars because they like that's how they look, and they also build cars because they want like shit. I want a little bit of attention. If I'm honest with you, I want people to recognize the thought process that went into it and being like, "That's awesome. I never thought of that," and like have an impression on them. But also like, if somebody comes up to me like, "Yo, that car's sick," like it makes me feel good.
Just to share things that you've done and like how'd you do this?
So like I feel like that community was like more, and me coming up and not having a car yet was like that really helped me understand like how everything worked and like appreciate the community. And I guess the knock-on effect that this could have is like if you're teaching this kid who his parents gave him a Hyundai Sonata for his first car, and the only meets that I really know of are like every like few weeks like a cars and coffee or whatever. But I remember back then like I just wanted to go out and cruise.
It wasn't about showing how much tire you can burn or fucking how loud your car is.
That's the thing is like
it didn't matter.
Yeah, just, you would meet up with like that small community that was like in a bubble and like that, and then you'd go home. And if the cops showed up, you'd get the hell out of there like as quietly as possible. Yeah. So I think that's the knock-on effect now is like if you're a kid who's getting into cars, a younger person, and that's the only thing that's available are those type of meets. That's where all your friends go. That's it.
Yep. It's all you know when you follow suit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Just follow what they did, and then what's next?
Yeah.
That. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that is like you're not spending a ton of money on your build, right?
Would it lay out a typical street takeover build for me?
No,
John, what do you got?
I'm not spending anything. Sign here. I don't know. Take it home. You know what I mean? And then never pay any of your bills for it.
No.
I don't know. But if you build your car or do any little thing to it, you respect each little piece that you put on it. You're not going to go smashing into curbs and other cars and you know what I mean? Like if you paid for the tires, even you're not like I want to melt these down and then 3 months later, save the money to get new ones. Like, you're 20 years old. Like, how are you gonna afford that?
Yeah.
So I just don't. I'm just confused, annoyed, pissed, whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? But I keep my head down. I just see the shit online, and I'm just like, wow, where the fuck are we going?
Yeah.
Where are we going, dude?
Down. Yeah. California, I believe, passed a law where they can seize your car.
They're tight already. Already.
So like if you, I don't know the specifics. I probably should look it up. This is a podcast about factual stuff. But
factual.
Based off what I have read, like they can seize your car. So like a lot of these people who are driving newer Mustangs, newer Camaros, newer whatever.
But is there a lot of action like that in Cali or not at all?
I think that's where it's primarily happening.
Really.
Like I think Golden Gate Bridge, they did one like in the middle of Golden Gate Bridge, like shut it down.
I mean, they're still screwing around with that. Like, I thought it was only like in the kind of central states.
No, I think California was like probably. I mean, if I'm honest, like California usually is like the trendsetter for a lot of automotive cultural
true,
thing,
true.
so they may
I've
have
seen
may have even started there. But yeah, I mean, you just kind of like ruin your life. You know, you're a younger kid who gets egged on by your peers to do something. I sound like such a goddamn middle school principal now.
Your dad.
By your peers, but you know, like you're doing burnouts, like like I'm gonna try one out. Like then the cops show up, they seize your car. You have a loan for it that you have to pay off, but you have no car to show for it.
Yeah, you're shot.
You know, like your credit's gone. Sorry, see ya. I don't know. Just the specifics of it. If you guys know of anyone that's been through something like that, you know, that's gotten in trouble for that. A lot of the coverage that we see is of the actual meets and like, you know, people getting slammed into body panels.
I would
people
like
flying
to,
through the
I-
air,
I'd like
but
to
I'd love to
actually
hear
talk
about
to
like
someone
what what happens next.
partakes in that, and that's like involved in it, and also like psyched on it. I'd love to talk to someone.
Psyched on it. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's weird. I think I have a theory on street takeovers, and I think I don't know like where it originated, but here we go. Like, I'm gonna get my red yarn out and connect the dots here.
Let's see.
But yeah, we all remember those people a few years ago. They're still around there. They have their car that they want to modify, and it's not a traditional car that you would modify.
I like how soft you are right now. How soft you're being.
You know, just speaking of my people.
Not a traditional.
Yeah, you know, like a Hyundai Sonata or
e-brake is on all the time.
you know, I'm trying to think what else.
Ripping your
Yeah,
nuts.
just out. You know, like cars that aren't supported for aftermarket parts. There we go. That's a
Just bet yourself in the
political
corner.
way to do it. But you know, like what do you do for a car that like they don't make anything for? Like you put an axle back on, like you know, chop the mufflers off, straight pipe it. You put like a cone intake filter on and make some whooshy noises, or you know, hope that it does. You do a lot of visual mods, you know, a lot of stickers, a lot of vinyl wrap,
Don't judge. Whatever.
wheels, you know, whatever. Melt some springs down. But you know, like in just trying to like belong to that scene, but they like reject you. So I feel like a lot of like the past few years have been, a lot of it was like social media based, right? Through COVID, no one was able to go out. All the car shows were canceled.
Oh, true.
So people would post a lot of like their car on social media and
Nobody was out in the streets either.
correct. Yep. And I think like a lot of that was like people, you know, 2021, I saw a lot of people selling that, like they would buy a brand new WRX, a brand new
Right.
Volkswagen, a brand new like whatever, and do all this stuff to it, like slam it out, crazy camber, whatever. And then like a year later, they're selling it because it didn't get them the notoriety they were hoping for. You know, same with like these other people, they don't have anything that's supported aftermarket support. So, you know, like they would post all this stuff, like these like, you know, kind of cringy mods or whatever to try to get attention. But when no one gave them the attention because it was just kind of a meh build, like to me is like it's cool that you tried, but there's no support for you.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do? But because they didn't get the notoriety or the attention they were hoping, what's the next best thing? Instead of like modding the car, I'm just going to drive the piss out of it. So I think like the next step of like everyone posting like all these, you know, glamour builds and not getting what they wanted out of social media, you know, the next thing is like, all right, well, if I didn't get anything out of that, I'm either going to sell the car and just get out of the car scene, because the only reason I got in the car scene was to get attention. Right. I don't like cars, I just want attention. Or I'm going to take it to the next step, which is if I'm doing burnouts and ripping stuff in the parking lot or in the intersection outside of the local meet, I know everyone's going to be filming me.
Right.
You know, like whether they hate me or not, like that people want to either see me crash or see what happens, or just like film like, oh, like this meet was like crazy, like this kid was doing burnouts here or there.
Which we've seen that at the cabin.
Yeah.
People going ham.
Yeah. Racing
and
down.
And then they come back.
Yeah.
And then they leave again and they come back.
Yep.
And it's like.
So I think, you know, like I think it's the same scene of like people want attention. They try to do it through modification, through social media, whatever. It just didn't work. But it's based on either what car, their taste. So they still wanted attention. So what's the next best thing? Like,
I don't think they're thinking about that shit though. That's not their
they
goal.
want attention.
But that's not their goal. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of happens. Like that didn't work for me. I don't think they were like thinking like, oh shit, how can I get attention? I think that's just how it like.
I don't know.
Like how do I keep up with X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? I have to do it. I have to find another avenue to do it. But I don't know if that's what their goal is initially. You know what I mean?
Well, why do people do it in the first place?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Put yourself in the mind of a young Dodge Charger owner.
It does burn house.
All the time.
That's it. You know. I don't know. I guess me personally, I wouldn't seek that attention out, so I can't really try to relate to how they get there or anything like that. You know.
I think it's a generational thing.
I guess.
I'm not trying to date us over here, you know.
I got a 10 on you.
Carbon dating.
Yeah.
Send it out and just make sure we're the actual ages. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like this is like the new like peacocking, right? Like you want to attract people around you. You want to try to
I do
stand
see
out.
That. I mean, if you actually look at the videos a little closer, like everyone is, and you're right, everyone is trying to one up the next guy.
The people that aren't the people who aren't driving, it's not their car. They're hanging out the window, right? They're sitting on the windowsill.
Go further.
Yeah.
Because dudes in the parking lot or fucking in the street that don't even have cars that are like filming to put, posts up or whatever the fuck. They're trying to get the closest to being hit.
Yes, without getting hit.
The dude that jumps over the trunk and gets clipped and lands on his ass instead of his head, he's a winner.
Yeah.
And like, oh, should you see that dude? That's it. And now his thing is like
fireworks, whatever. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I guess everyone is trying to fucking. You're right.
I think that's what it's about.
That was quick. You know what I mean?
We figured it out. All right, guys. So wait, what do we do? There's a lot of laws about it, and I think just like you said, we didn't really touch on this at all yet, but people trying to do this are ruining it for everyone else, because if I bring my modified car anywhere near something like that, in states like Texas,
you're in the group without being in the group.
Yep, and you never even meant to, but you're being roped into it, and they're gonna crack down on
everyone.
Yeah,
even people that aren't doing shit.
Yeah, or separate days, right? Like H2O at Ocean City. The last few years, they like really cracked it. Like if you had tint on the car, they didn't pound it. If you had an exhaust, they didn't pound it. Dude. But I saw a few people that went there months later, like the next spring or like early summer.
Didn't matter.
When the laws passed, they got it car impounded.
Oh, really?
Yeah, car and exhaust on it gets impounded.
When I was there in 2011 or 10 or whatever the hell it was, they pulled this NSX over and gave him a ticket for his spoiler, factory spoiler.
Yeah.
So they're just stretching because they want them out of there.
Yeah.
Yep. But again, it's the evolving behavior that is going to get that sort of attention from the cops.
Yeah.
And there's your result, which entail you asked for.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Okay. You want attention. Here you go.
So you asked for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, why don't they just leave us alone? It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
How are the cops going to leave you alone?
You're the one trying to make everyone look at you.
Yeah.
What do we do about it, dude? How do we fix it?
I was just going to say stay in your house.
That's one
shitty way.
Never go outside. Never mind your car.
Nothing. That eventually will infiltrate each car show. I don't go to the cabin anymore because of the shit show. Yeah. I don't go to Sunday nights out for Sunday. Garbage fest. You know what I mean? So it's just like little by little, each one will get shipped away, and it will just, like Speed Shop, is a cars and coffee meet that we have here locally. That we do. What's it start like at? It starts at 8 o'clock.
8 to 10.
That's early.
A.m. Yeah.
Early. Did you see the last one?
I was at the last one. I don't know if I saw it.
I follow this group, whatever, that posts like cars leaving and shit. And dude, it was the same shit.
Yeah,
and
McLaren
dude, with their G, not even the McLaren, just G35 bone stock.
Yeah,
holes in the exhaust, just going back and forth. He was there like 6-7 times. Bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? So even if you have a meet start at 7-8 o'clock in the morning, there's still going to be that crowd
dude.
there.
We out here peacocking.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's eventually you're going to see that kind of sprinkled over each meet that you are.
Yeah.
No matter what time it is or where it is.
Yeah, and hopefully that a lot of it will self-regulate. The other thing, have you heard of the out towards like for us Buffalo, New York. Great chicken wings. Go Bills. On the way there, there's that older circle track. I think it's dirt, and they have a quarter-mile track on the right side.
Is this Lancaster?
No.
The other Buffalo Lancaster. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Is that Pennsylvania?
It's a. Is it? Anyway, it's an 8th mile, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But they paved like a huge section, and it's like
Just for that.
Thursday night, just open.
That's meant.
So all like you slide around. There's like they have like turns, corners. They have like little islands, and you just go there and like just drift, do burnouts, do donuts, like whatever you want to do. Like go nuts out there.
That's awesome.
Obviously, it's legal because it's private property.
Controlled.
Yeah, you pay for it. And then the other thing too is like there's people there to watch you.
Yeah.
So I think stuff like that where like unfortunately I see like a lot of racetracks or quarter miles starting to shut down, right? Land developers moving in or areas around that, neighborhoods around it wanting to shut it down because of noise ordinances, stuff like that. Or like real estate companies come in and say, we'll buy this gigantic lot for a couple $1 million.
Put a bunch of lofts on it. And shit.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a worry, but maybe like the next thing, instead of like a lot of these drag strips are like decades old, right? Yeah. Falling apart. No one really goes there much anymore. So maybe the next thing will be like you literally just buy a parking lot or like pave a pad and host stuff like this. I think it'd be awesome. Like personally, if you had
for us, for people that are been in the scene and understand and respect it, but for those who don't, why would you do that? It's not like illegal enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, why don't we need to be in the middle of an intersection?
I don't know.
That just doesn't do it for me, man.
Yeah.
I gotta be,
That might weed it out, though. I think
it's a good try.
I still believe in the human potential. Like trying to, like hopefully if people have an avenue like this where something locally here where they can go and have fun. And once again, if people are doing this in order to show off or say showboat, man, we're really old.
Just rip it.
People are showboating out there.
Just rip it.
I think a lot of, if that's what they want attention, and there's a place that they can go and legally do this, where everyone's going to watch that, even people that don't have cars or like whatever. I think it's a good option, and I heard about this place in Buffalo that does it. I had no idea what days they do it, when they do it, if like who's allowed to do it. I heard about it like maybe like a year or two ago. Oh, and then somebody local or somebody popped in the shop the other day and said that they went to it this past Thursday, and it was like huge. He had shown me videos and stuff. It looked awesome.
I've never heard of this at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's good. Yeah.
Get out of the house, dude.
I think that no thanks. I think that it's going to be in every state. What you're talking about, the seizures or whatever. Eventually, it'll be in every state. And I know this is across the world, but Australia has like huge burnout like clubs.
Yeah, it's super illegal there to.
Oh yeah, they're tight as hell.
Yeah, like they will crush your car if you do like a burnout.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So they put together these like groups, and specific builds for one thing. You know what I mean?
Shredding tires.
So, yeah.
So maybe that's the way that'll go. It's like the only option they really have besides getting your car crushed, which California is. Sounds like
we'll see how it goes, man. If maybe more get seized or whatever, and then they'll stop a little bit.
Yeah.
More. Who knows?
We can wait and see. I don't know. It's great. Yeah, I think overall, like it's. I'm sure for the people that are doing it and having a positive experience doing it, it seems like the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I would just worry like the human element of it, like killing people or like
no one gives a shit.
Hurting, I don't know.
No one gives a shit.
No one gives a shit till it's them.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know. That's what I got.
That's it.
I think I spoke my piece. Yeah. The evolution of Street Takeover. We should have like a little like the caveman evolution from like the monkey to the man. We should do that with like the swag boy.
I'm into it.
To the banishment at car meets the first doing a burnout to Street Takeover. That'd be sick.
To fucking jail.
To jail. But yeah, let's look at what you guys think. If any of you guys participate in this or know somebody that does,
hit us up.
That'd be awesome.
I am interested. I'd genuinely interested to
Yeah,
find
we're
out
not
the
gonna
attraction.
at least I'm not. I can't speak for you, but I
can't
won't like
either.
dunk on you. Like if you want to join us for a conversation, I'd love to just like talk about.
Yeah.
You know what? Do you like cars? Is it something that you're passionate about? Is it more just, like throwing around, hitting people? I don't know.
There's no way out of this, man. It's
I
just
know,
a terrible thing.
I let myself right back into it, didn't I? But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If it's something that's personally affected you, I'd love it if you comment below on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Or write in if you're listening to us on audio only. But I think that's what I have tonight. Do you have anything else to close it out?
That's it. No, I think we're good, man. That was a good end to help me sleep tonight.
Good. I'm glad you feel better.
I don't, dude.
Stress relief. Oh, you don't?
No, it bothers me so much. I see so much of it online, and I'm like, ugh. Makes me not want to like leave the house with my car.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, send
Never
them
leave the
off.
house.
Send them off.
On that note, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. Until
Thanks,
next
Jeff.
time, give us a subscription. It'd be awesome. Follow us on there, and if you want to follow me, sorry, I already gave the piece up. Follow me at Circuit Demon. I post most stuff there. Or hey, it's Jeff with 3 Fs, and we got.
Mine's buy 401k _ I do a lot of my builds on there and a lot of screw ups.
Love a good screw up. Love a good screw up. On that note, thank you guys so much.
See you guys. Thanks.